All right. So when you do any technique, actually, you do have like you always have a yin yield in your kihon, okay? But what happens is that our yin yield is external. So he is pushing per prescription, and then I just kind of get out of the way and he kind of falls forward. Right? So he's pushing per prescription, and I get out of the way, he falls forward, and then I go. Okay, the downside of that is I'm not actually in control of him. Now, the inertia may be in control of him, but that is not the point of your kihon waza, okay? It's not someone's coming at you, get out of the way like a bullfighter gets out of the way, okay? And it's hard to see that when I'm doing my stuff that I'm in his center. He can feel it. You see, he can feel it. He can feel it. But you can't see it, okay? And so it's very easy that when I come back here, it looks like that. But I'll show you what to look for, okay? So for example, if I just get out of the way, got it? On this, if I were to stop, he would be able to push it in if I'm just getting out of the way. Or if he's faster than me, you got it? And I get out of the way, you see it got stuck. Do you guys see that? Okay, but when I am moving his center, you could stop at any point. Push, doesn't change it. It makes him move. Doesn't change it. We'll go over here, push, makes him move, do you see? So when I go around, it's not that I'm getting out of the way. I have his center, and his whole center is making a big circle. Okay, so now I gave you one metric. He can't push on it. It's pushing him back, okay? But the next one I want you to do is now watch his center, okay? So don't get caught in the flash of the handwork. Don't get caught in the flash of the throw. You're looking here, okay? And when I just get out of the way, you see nothing really happens to that center except for the fact that it fell forward. Got it? But when I do this movement and I have this center, do you see how the center is moving? So here, nothing happens till you get in there. But here in the center, whoa, that whole thing moved in that circle, okay? So your yield moves are not just external bullfighter cape, move the cape out of the way, the bull fell in, and then knocked him over. You have his center, you're moving into that pattern, boom, you see? Boom. Okay, let's see if we can bring some internal to the external yin yield. Okay, let's try this. Okay, so as you're trying to do your kihon waza, remember the point of the kihon waza is ultimately communion with God, which means you are going to reduce the activity of the ego tripartite mind, allowing the God mind to arise, okay? So you have to get yourself in liminal states, and the tried and true way of getting into liminal states is to solving for dichotomy and basically generating paradoxes, philosophically speaking. So, for example, it makes sense to the dichotomous mind that he's pushing, and you do the bullfighter, get out of the way. That makes sense, okay? It does not make sense that I would have his center, and that at these weird angles that he's still pushing, he can't do anything. We would be here all day, okay? It also makes sense to the dichotomous mind to be pushing him, do you see? To push him over. That I get a skeletal alignment, and then I just kind of push him over. Likewise, if I'm asking you to move his center, it makes sense on the yin hand to pull. So you're like, okay, I'll pull him in with that yin hand, and that makes sense to you. But it's really this hand that's important. Okay? So here, this was, in your mind, either you'll get an out of the way hand, or your pushing hand. Do you see that? But it's going to do both. So it's going to move his center around this way. Keep your grip. You see? You get that? It's not that I'm going here. It's moving him. That way. It's both projecting and adhering. Okay? So don't get so stuck because you're over here and you're like, I am moving it, but this hand's just waiting. Do you see? And he's not doing anything. Till it makes sense to now push him over. Okay? Likewise, although this hand is moving him, again, the same thing. Here's a weird angle. Push on it. Push on it that way. We're not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere. Do you get it? It's not getting out of the way and pulling him, such that if he pulls it back, doesn't do anything. It's stuck. He pushes it, doesn't do anything. Do you see that? Okay? So pay attention. You're not getting out of the way. Oh, this hand's not doing anything until it makes dichotomous sense to push him over. The whole body moves. Move his whole body. Okay, try it again. All right, so regular kokidosa, as I said before we did the first instructional period, is like, it kind of looks like it, you know what I mean? Like this kind of looks like get out of the way, it kind of looks like it, until you know what to look for. Like the center, or till you know what to test for. Push, we're not going anywhere. Pull, we're not going anywhere, okay? And then once you know what to look for, what to test for, then it's hard to lie to ourselves, okay? But what I like to do is eventually we'll do a version that you just can't do the other way. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do now. You're probably gonna have to scoot back, okay? So this one, I'm gonna have his center, I'm gonna move his whole center. Send them right back the other way. Okay, let's try it. Okay, why this works as a kind of test is I can't just get out of the way because he'll never turn. Okay, So I have to control his center. You see? And we'll go over here, and then I turn. There's a couple of things to notice to make sure that you're not half-assing it. One is not tenshi nage. It remains koku nage. And then two is not going to go here. You see that? He's kind of there. You get it? And then now he's going this way there. You're going to totally turn him. And a way you know you're in the ballpark is the bad ukes will clamshell on you. Can you? I won't clamshell you, but can you show what clamshell is? Yeah, so he's like this. Okay? So you clamshell someone, you could for at least one rep go, I'm doing it. Okay, but you should try to work with your uke. So I'll move him around. You see? And then I can ease up if he's a clamshell. Just don't take him to here and then think you're doing it. If you pay attention, he's going to move all the way over to there. And then you can see the wrist of the clamshell. Okay? Let's try it again. Okay, so you'll have a technique where you're do this technique in Daito-ryu. So you get his center, boom, and you'll have his shoulders locked, okay? I do that at first, you see, and then now I just want his tanden, and I'm going to move his tanden around. So I'm not going like this, because this hand was dead. If you pay attention, it's dead. This hand down here. So you're going to pass through Aiki again, and then once you have the center, you turn it. This is why it's not tenshi nage. This hand's dead. Boom. Boom. Okay? And we're not taking him to the left or right. We're turning him all here. Boom. 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 Okay? Try it again. A lot of times you have this idea of move your center. Really amounts to people turning their waist. Okay? But we don't ever turn the waist. So I do have some center realignment, but it's from the qua moving, the qua opening and closing. I don't ever go like this. This is incorrect. Okay? But people can get very strong or powerful by just having the biomechanics of moving from the core of your body. Okay? But then people mistake that as correct form. So you'll see, use your center. Okay, so I'll go in here. You see my center is going up. And then they'll turn their waist, you see. And then they turn their waist back. I haven't done that in a long time. Man, that felt weird. That's a lot of strain on the other side to do it. Okay? But here's the thing. You're trying to spiral rotate the tanden, but once you form the tanden, it's not because I actually physically turn my waist that I would ever spiral rotate this. The hands are actually rotating the yang qi in my tanden, okay? So my hands, boom, one low, one high, okay, and then over the top, drop. So I can't do whatever I want with my hands. My hands have to spiral rotate. The hands have to spiral rotate. They can't make these circles like that. You see? Circles. Those are conducive to waist movement. Okay? And they always stress your inner deltoid. So martially, they're not going to function unless they're like, this person's lighter than your strength. Okay? But they'll never spiral rotate the lower tanden. Okay? So as you're doing the technique, okay, you're going to watch how I'm doing an inward spiral. If you're not sure how to recognize that, think Idi Minage. Okay? So I go like this. That's not it. Do you see that? Okay? And I go like this. That's not it. Boom. Boom. So, without him, no, 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 no. Okay? So watch the yang hand in the technique, and it's going to do Idi Minage. Okay? Then the lower hand, so it's a yin yang world, so as I do the inward spiral on the yang hand, right? Until it gets to that yang phase, what do you think you have over here? You have the inward spiral. Do you see? So as I go and you pay attention, this is actually the outward spiral. Do you see it right there? If you're not sure what it looks like, you can see it in Kokyu Ho. So as I go one, I'm picking it up with the outward spiral, and then as I reach its liminal stage, that's when it converts to the inward spiral. Do you see that? So I am from the bottom picking up, so to speak, the lower tanden, and then over the top, spiraling in. Okay, this hand will do the inverse. So it's going to do the inward spiral, and it's over the top of the tanden until he starts to come back, and here is your outward spiral. Do you see? Boom. So now watch this hand. It does the inward, whoa, pop back out. Okay, so if I move out of the way, oh, this is where I am moving this thing, moving this thing, moving this thing, moving this thing. Okay? Hey.